There's been a lot of public opposition to the whole filtering trial. And I think most people, everybody recognises the need that we want some way in there to be able to get rid of all the nasty stuff online. I think the police have been doing a particularly good job, for instance, of infiltrating a lot of the child porn rings over the last couple of years and getting rid of this stuff full stop, whether it's on the internet or anywhere else. I think most people, though, have recognised that the solution to this is not a technical one. This is a social problem. And while technical solutions in the hands of parents may make sense, embedding this at the centre on the ISP, where you've got a secret list of sites the government doesn't want you to see, that's just fraught with too many risks to everything. And I think Senator Xenophon has sort of recognised this just isn't the right way to achieve his own goals.
What do you think the government's real motivation for the internet filtering is? Why have they risked their relationship with the internet industry by appearing to ignore all concerns?
This was one of their election promises, is that they would bring in a way to make the internet safer. And this isn't the first time, by the way. This is about the fourth time iiNet's been through that, which is why we're somewhat cynical and jaded about the whole process. But the previous government tried 3 times as well and brought out various trials of filters. So you've got the filtering industry out there telling anyone that'll listen that, hey, we can fix everything for you. And of course, it's a very seductive promise that you know, if you install this software, then everyone in the internet's going to be safe. But the reality of it is just that, it's advertising hype. When you actually see this stuff in action, it blocks things that it shouldn't, and of course it lets through things that it shouldn't.
Are there any extra concerns you have that the public may be missing? For example, would monitoring people's internet use put high-level surveillance tools into the hands of everyday IT staff at every single ISP across Australia?
The general problem is that it's moving it's a very non-transparent, very opaque process. So there is a list somewhere of things that you're not allowed to see, but no one's allowed to review that list or look at it. It's kept confidential, it's held by the department. And there's really no checks and balances on what goes into it. Now, yes, the ISPs then end up with tools that effectively mean they're interfering with your traffic and checking your traffic. Now, at the moment, we're not allowed to do that. The Interceptions Act makes it illegal for us to even review your data without having some form of external authority, such as an interception warrant from an officer. So yeah, whether it's in the hands of ISPs or the hands of the government, you know, as an individual, I worry about the idea that someone else is going through everything I do without due cause.
So what do you see as the future of internet censorship here?
I think we've got an audience that's been educated a lot over the last 10 years, and I think parents today recognise that the internet's a big place and there's an immense amount of useful data out there, which is why we let kids have access to the internet in the first place. But there's also naughty stuff. So educating kids on the way to differentiate between that sort of content is the obvious requirement. And schools are already doing an excellent job of that compared to where we were 10 years ago in the infancy of the net. There are some excellent tools that parents can use as well. Windows Vista and the latest versions of Mac OS come with built-in tools that give parents a lot of power to be able to block materials that they're not comfortable with. And there's software that is even easier to use for parents that they can install or get an IT guy to set up with them. But nothing at the end of the day beats observing what the kids are doing on the net. So I mean, in my household, the PC's in the kitchen and the kids playing on the internet while I'm watching TV or they're with them. But it makes a big difference. And little kids ask about this stuff. They're not out there seeking porn. If they stumble across it, they ask, you know, what's this? Why is this here? And so just I think interacting with them there is the best way, as with anything else in life.
If internet censorship does come in, what would iiNet do to oppose it? Would you advertise VPN services to your users, for example?
We wouldn't do anything to encourage people to get around the law. I don't think that's realistic and not something that we'd ever done or consider to do. Remember, I think the objective here is a sensible one. Let's try and do what we can to help parents avoid the nasties online. And no one disagrees with that objective, and there's tools out there to be able to help do that and available readily already with iiNet for free, have been for years. The thing we're more concerned about is the mandatory filtering. And I think that's the part where everyone's got some concerns. It's completely ineffective in achieving its own goals. And that's the one I guess we'd be certainly continuing to lobby that it's an inappropriate solution to the problem.